Good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. We are here to talk NFL playoffs. We also have college football playoffs tonight as well with Ohio State and Texas. So we got a lot to talk about. And we're going to give out some touchdown picks. Give out some touchdown picks and some props as well. Little review of yesterday. Yeah, I said on stream yesterday that I didn't want to bet on that game. I said I leaned Notre Dame in the under. The under did not win. Notre Dame did win. I did tweet out that I took Penn State, which I did. So that was unfortunate. But I did also take the first half under 23.5, and that won. So basically I broke even, but of course I tweeted out the loser of those two. But hey, it's okay. We'll make it back this weekend. Unfortunate though, like again, I said this all week. I said that, well, first of all, I said all week I don't trust James Franklin in a big game. And then I said all week I don't know if Drew Aller can play good against a good defense. And yeah, he did not play good against a good defense. Again, for what is like the 8th time in his Penn State career. Look, I tweeted this last night. I've never seen someone that looks more like an NFL quarterback and plays less like an NFL quarterback than Drew Aller. I can't wrap my head around it. It doesn't compute. I don't understand how or why he's not good, but he just isn't. And I mean, he's a junior in college, right? Like he should be better than he is. But they could have won anyways. Like it wouldn't even have mattered. The interception with 30 seconds left in the game, absolutely inexcusable. So that was crazy, but yeah, wish I would have took that 17-1 Ohio State Notre Dame, or I think it was 20-1 Ohio State Notre Dame championship matchup bet that I think we talked about on the stream. I did not bet it, but wish I would have, because it's looking pretty likely right now. But for tonight, Ohio State Texas, we won't spend a ton of time on this just because, I mean, I think Ohio State's going to win. I've said this a couple times this week, but I think Texas team total under might be a good look. I just don't know like what kind of success they're going to have offensively against this defense. I don't trust Quinn Ewers in a big game, and I don't trust him against a very good defense either. Like the best defense he's seen all season with how this Ohio State defense has been playing. Really tough matchup for Quinn Ewers. I could see them trying to hide him and run the ball a lot. I don't know if that strategy is going to work, but I could see that. So, yeah, I kind of like Texas team total under. I like Ohio State to win the game by a touchdown or more. And unless Ryan Day does something insanely stupid, I'm pretty confident Ohio State will win the national championship. So that's that. Let's dive into NFL here. We had some line movement. Chargers moved from 2.5 to 3 at Houston. And then the Vikings moved from -1.5 to 2.5 because that game got moved from LA to a neutral field in Arizona. So we're going to talk through these games. Like I said, I'll still have the breakdowns out on the website. There's 2 up now. The rest will be up. There'll be a couple up today for Sunday, and then a couple up tomorrow there'll be a couple up today for Sunday, and then the Monday one will come out tomorrow. So those will be up on the website, but just talking through things here. I'll pull up the betting splits as well. So in this first game, Chargers and Texans, Chargers still very public here. 76% of the money line tickets, almost 80% of the spread tickets. 90% of the money, like really, really public for the Chargers. And that's not shocking because the Texans do not have a good they kind of are coming in here looking bad. So just the perception of these teams can be more different. The total's only 42.5. So I don't know, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I think the Chargers are a much better team, but I don't think I'm gonna bet a side of this game. For props and touchdowns, I love Lad McConkey again this week. We've been betting him quite a bit recently, and talking about him quite a bit. His receiving line's around 75.5. His reception line is at 5.5, which we've taken the over quite a few times on that recently. And he's plus 130-ish to score a touchdown, plus 140 to score a touchdown on FanDuel. So I think it's a good spot for Ladd McConkey. The Texans have lost multiple slot corners this season, and we know that they have really good outside corner play. So the way to attack them has been in the slot, which coincides with, Ladd McConkey. At the same time, Houston has a very good pass rush. They have one of the best pass rushers in the NFL with Will Anderson and Daniel Hunter. So that also could help. Like the Chargers have a very good offensive line, especially at the tackle spots. But if Houston is able to get pressure on Justin Herbert, like that should just lead to even more catches for Ladd McConkey too, like short, quick ones over the middle or right around the line of scrimmage. I think that could definitely happen. So I think it's a really, really good spot for Ladd McConkey. I'll be interested in him. I think it's a good spot for Nico Collins too, though. Especially with how he plays down the field. His receiving line's at 87.5. I think you could do some same game parlay stuff maybe with Ladd and Nico Collins, but I like the matchup for both of them. I think this will be a close game, and I probably won't be betting a side for it. Steelers Ravens, like I said, breakdowns up for this on the blog as well. A couple trends I highlighted in there. In this rivalry, Steelers Ravens. But the big one that stuck out to me in his head coaching career for the Steelers, Mike Tomlin 1-8 against the spread when he's a underdog of more than 8 points. Obviously, Ravens minus 9.5 here. Pretty tough spot. And one of those losses came earlier this season, I think, to the Ravens. So it's a tough spot for the Steelers. I mean, the public perception of these teams could not be more different. The Steelers coming in 4 straight losses. Ravens coming in 4 straight wins. Their defense has been much improved since the middle part of the season. And yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really, really tough for the Steelers to win this game. It could be closer maybe than that spread indicates if the Steelers defense kind of does what they can do. I don't really have much faith in that at this moment, but really tough for the Ravens to lose this game, I think. For props and like touchdown stuff, I love Isaiah Likely here. I think he's going to have a bigger role with Zay Flowers out. Pittsburgh's faced the most tight end targets in the NFL this season. They've allowed the 4th most tight end catches. So they've kind of been bad against tight ends all season. Isaiah Likely, like we know this is someone that Lamar Jackson trusts. And when you take Zay Flowers out, I think he's going to lean really heavily on Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely when he throws the ball here. So I like Likely at a pretty low receiving prop. I like his touchdown odds, whether it be anytime or even I think you could take a shot on first touchdown too. He's like 12 or 13 to 1. I've hit multiple Isaiah Likely first touchdown bets like in the past. Like he is someone that will score first touchdowns. So I really like him in that game. Obviously, Derrick Henry, but I mean, I'm not going to lay minus 200 on him to score a touchdown or anything like that. But I wrote it in the blog. Like the big kind of point of emphasis for this Ravens team last year was how they just didn't run the ball against Kansas City in that AFC Championship game. They brought in Derrick Henry to, ease those concerns from the fans and the media and stuff. I think that's going to be a big point for them in these playoffs. I think, Derrick Henry is going to be getting fed. So if you wanted to dabble on, I mean, I'm sure his prop is just insane. Yeah, I mean, his prop's loading 99.5 yards. So I don't really know what you want to do with him, but obviously I do think he's going to be pretty heavily involved. Broncos, Bills. Bills, one of my favorite spots of the weekend. I think they're going to win. I think this is going to be a blowout. Denver has not beaten anyone. We went through this the other day. Denver's not beaten anyone good this season, except for Tampa in week 3. They played the Ravens. They got absolutely smoked. They lost to the Chargers twice. They lost to the Bengals in a big game a few weeks ago. I do not trust them at all. Traveling cross country and, uh, you know, huge step up in competition for them. So I just don't believe in the Broncos at all. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but I don't think they will. I think the Bills are going to smoke the Broncos. So I like the 8.5. I like the alternate spreads. Like if you want to mix in that, I think you could do that. I like the first half minus 4.5. I don't think this game is going to be close. So Bills big for me in that one. Packers, Eagles, Jalen Hurts is good to go. It looks like Jordan Love good to go. Christian Watson, big loss for Green Bay, though, I think. Like, some people act like he's overrated, but, I mean, when you look in the scheme of their other receivers, like, you have Romeo Doubs. Dontavian Wicks has been terrible all season. Jaden Reed is good, but they don't play him. I don't know, like, why they don't put him on the field more. Kind of confusing. He could definitely, I could see Jaden Reed stepping up and leading this team in receiving in this game. So I'd be on the lookout for that. AJ Brown had this like knee injury that they were talking about. I think he's good to go, like completely fine. I think they were just being cautious with him at practice, but I guess we'll know more, closer to Sunday. But I think the Eagles win this handily. I don't think these two teams are particularly close at the moment. If you would have asked me 6 weeks ago, I would have said Green Bay might win this game. But as it currently stands, I'll take the Eagles in this one, and I would be fine with the 4.5. It's tough to bet on the Eagles like prop wise, just because Saquon and Hurts have so much of the touchdown equity. So yeah, I don't know. I'll have to dive in a bit more to the prop stuff, but definitely I would be interested in Jaden Reed. Eagles defense has been pretty nasty though. Curious what Green Bay's team total is. Wow. Green Bay juiced under 20.5 team total. Pretty interesting. I'd probably take the under on it, to be honest. Philly's defense has been one of the best in the NFL. So, and like I said, taking a big weapon and Christian Watson off the field definitely will affect things. In the Sunday night game, Washington, Tampa. I like Tampa in this one. This fits the mold of quarterback, making his first start on the road against a quarterback has playoff experience. Jane Daniels against Baker Mayfield. Tampa at home. I know they looked bad against New Orleans, but I don't know. I like the Commanders. I do. I think they obviously hit on Jane Daniels. I think they're in a good spot to kind of build in the next few years, but I still I'm trying to sell. I've been trying to sell them all season and it just hasn't really worked out. Again, though, like looking at teams that they beat, they lost to the Bucks 37-20. They lost to the Ravens. They lost to the Steelers, Eagles. They split with the Eagles. Bad loss to the Cowboys. I don't know. A lot of their wins are over bad teams. I mean, they did beat the Bengals, but that was way back early season, so really not concerned with that. Giants, Cardinals, Browns, Panthers, Bears, Giants, Titans, Saints, Falcons, Cowboys, really not any impressive wins there for Washington. Been kind of looking to sell them. So I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to go with Tampa. I would lay the -3 for prop stuff. I mean, Bucky Irving is so -150. I'm not going to bet that. I kind of like Baker Mayfield anytime touchdown at 6-1. I could see him running one in if they get close or, near the goal line or something. I could just feel that happening. So 6-1 for Baker Mayfield, I think is a little bit interesting. Also like Cade Otton if he's back and feeling healthy. I mean, 3-1 for an anytime touchdown. For Cade Otton, we do know Baker does like to look to him in the red zone, so you could talk me into that. On the Washington side, I mean, it's Terry McLaurin really for me. They have those other guys, Zacchaeus, Zach Ertz has been mixing in, but if I was going to bet on someone, it would be Terry McLaurin. You can definitely attack this Tampa secondary, and Terry McLaurin just has proven all year he just does it time and time again. He did have that one bad game towards the end of the season, but overall, I mean, he's been great all season. So I would probably just default to him if I were looking for a pass catcher on Washington, although Zacchaeus has been pretty good down the stretch. I don't want to slight him at all. And then in the Monday night game, Vikings-Rams, I still like the Rams in this one. The line moved because the game got moved out of LA. I'm going to wait until closer to Monday. Hopefully this moves to like the plus 130 range on the money line, and I'm going to take Los Angeles. I don't care that it's at a neutral site. I just think the Rams are going to win this game regardless of I would be on the Rams if it was in Minnesota. I just don't I don't care about that really. I wasn't backing the Rams because they were the home team. I was backing them because I don't really trust Sam Darnold in this spot. Like he's been balling all season, but and I think it's pretty interesting because like even if the Vikings beat the Lions last week, I would be on the Rams in this one. Like obviously they wouldn't be playing the Rams because they would have got the number 1 seed, but I'm just saying like if they were coming off a huge win last week, I still would be on the Rams here. But it seems like the public kind of wants to jump off the Vikings after, one bad game. That's kind of what I've seen on Twitter. Although I look at the betting splits and we're rocking like 65% of the tickets on the Vikings. So yeah, I don't know. I like the underdog here. I think the Rams are obviously more experienced, but all that matters to me is do they have a game-changing player on defense that could win them a game? Yes, they do in Jared Verse. Their offense fully healthy with Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford. That's all I care about. Even though I love Kevin O'Connell and I love Brian Flores, I still would take Sean McVay over them in a playoff game, especially because, I mean, he's done it, The Vikings, like, again, I think they have huge upside moving forward, especially when they get JJ McCarthy back. I said this, if you were picking teams over the next 5 years to win a Super Bowl, Minnesota would be like third highest on my list. I think they're very equipped to be good for the next 5 years. Like if I was ranking out teams to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years, Kansas City would be number 1. I would probably have I would probably have Detroit at number 2 only because even though I don't think Detroit's going to go to the Super Bowl this year, I think Philly. It would be a combo of Philly-Detroit just because they're in the NFC and they don't have to go against Patrick Mahomes. And then Minnesota, I still would put a peg below those, the Philly and Detroit's here, but I think they're right up there. Like I love how their team is set up, but I'm going to fade them in this game. Maybe if they prove me wrong, then I'll admit, I was wrong. But I like the Rams. So hopefully the line keeps moving against them and we can just get better odds. And I'll just take it on the money line. I'm not going to take 2.5. Now, if it gets to 3.5, I would take that. Just to kind of protect and I would still take the money line, but I would definitely take 3.5 if we get that. But as it stands right now, I'll just take the plus 128. And yeah, I think the Rams are going to win that game. For prop stuff, obviously Puka is like the obvious kind of choice here. His line's huge, 90.5. His reception prop is 7.5, though. I like the over on that. So I would probably not take the 90.5 or the 100 receiving yards, whatever you want to do with that. I would, however, take the over 7.5 catches. The way that they have played down the stretch of the season with him is like what they used to do with Cooper Kupp, they're doing with him like on steroids. Like so many close layup targets for him. If we look at his game log, I mean, look at his last 4 games, right? 14 targets, 12 catches, 8 targets, 7 catches, 9 targets, 8 catches, 14 targets, 10 catches. Like so many just easy, complete it to him. So I like Nakua over 7.5 catches. That seems like a high line, but I don't think it is, especially in a must-win playoff game. I think he could go for 9 or 10 catches in this game. No problem. So that would be my favorite look probably for this. And then you can alt him. I mean, where's he at? Nakua 10 catches. I mean, it's plus 225. I'll probably do the over 7.5, and then I'll just 9 plus and 10 plus 2, to be honest with you. That is my favorite look there. If you're in the chat, what's your favorite bet for the wildcard games? I think for me, it's the Rams and this Nakua 7.5 catches, or the Buffalo Bills. I really think the Bills are going to win by I think it's going to be a huge blowout. And if you're a Denver Broncos fan, I'm sorry. I promise I'm not hating on your team. I just don't think that they can compete in this spot. If Denver was playing another team, I might, be interested in them, but it just didn't. The chips did not fall that way this time. We're also going to build, we'll build a first touchdown parlay too here for fun. Try and, if we can hit like the first 2, like at least give us a sweat going into Sunday, that'd be fun. For the first game here, Chargers, Texans, I hate this guy because he let us down on Christmas. I think that was Christmas Day. He let us down. It really wasn't him, actually. It was CJ Stroud that let us down, but I'm going to go Dalton Schultz in this first one. Start off with the underdog team scoring first, but the home team, Dalton Schultz, first touchdown, 16-1. So let's put that in. And then you guys know I'm going likely in this night game here at 12-1. So that right there gives us 220-1. If you guys, we could just play that as 220-1. I mean, you put your coffee money on that, and you're making quite a bit if that would hit. But let's do a 3-leg. We could take it all the way to Monday night and do Nakua. I also like weirdly in this Bills game, if I was just picking someone for first touchdown, I do like Dalton Kincaid at 13-1, but I have this weird feeling about Ty Johnson in this game. I don't know why I think he's going to be involved, but I'm probably going to be interested in him for DFS tournaments. He's 6-1 anytime touchdown, 30-1 first touchdown. So the reason I like him, they just played obviously a big game against the Detroit Lions, right? December 15th. So it was about a month ago. Bills Lions, the Bills won. And Ty Johnson in that game had 5 catches for 114 yards, right? James Cook, he played 14 for 105 and 2. Ray Davis played. Like everyone was healthy. Ray Davis caught a touchdown in that game as well. But Ty Johnson had 5 catches for 114 yards. And that has stuck out to me for the last few weeks just because it was such a big game and they felt confident enough to draw up mismatches for Ty Johnson against these like Detroit linebackers, right? And Detroit plays pretty man heavy on defense. They're one of the few teams that do. And Denver also will play man heavy on defense at times. So if Denver's going to come out and play man heavy in this game and try and match up 1-for-1 on these receivers, I think we could see a similar game plan from Buffalo in that they might trust Ty Johnson in these spots, getting him matched up on linebackers and let him make moves. So I don't think like we'll ever get Ty Johnson receiving lines posted or anything like that, unfortunately. that's something I'd be interested in betting, but I don't think we will be awarded that opportunity. So the only way really to to bet on him is going to be, a touchdown, 6-1 or 30-1 first touchdown. So I might sprinkle on that. I wouldn't put it like you don't have to put it in this parlay, but I just felt like bringing that up. Player to record a 10+ yard reception. Yeah, like I wish we had like the full array of players that are going to play in the game available in these props, because it would be high odds, and I think that there's like a good chance of it. But yeah, so Ty Johnson, kind of an interesting angle that I'm interesting angle rather than I'm interested in this week. But all right, let's put one more in. Do we want to do Kincaid or do we want to do Cade Otton? Let's do Cade Otton. Just if we can hit these first two on Saturday, get us to Sunday night, that'd be a long wait till Sunday night, though. I'll tell you that. But we'll do Cade Otton. So 3 tight ends: Dalton Schultz, Isaiah Likely, Cade Otton, first touchdown scorers, parlayed, and it's about 380-1. So this is not. I'm not giving financial advice here. This is a very, very light bet for me, just for fun. But let's see if we can get a sweat going. But overall, tomorrow I'll be live at 11 because we have the 2 games. So I will be live tomorrow, and then I'll be live Sunday per usual as well for those games. Good luck with your bets tonight. We'll talk more tomorrow. Hopefully Ohio State wins tonight. So yeah, go Buckeyes there. Good luck with your bets, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.